afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Constable Bianca Jackson. I'm the Public Information Officer for Windsor Police Service. I'm going to invite Staff Sergeant Dave Tennant to give you an update on a recent case, a couple of recent cases. Please hold your questions until the end, where we will have a scrum and you can have follow-up questions at that time.
Thank you, Bianca. Good afternoon, everybody. Special welcome to our American friends today. Hopefully you had no issues at the border. I'd also like to invite up Constable Bethany Bondi and Constable Sean Richardson. They are the lead investigators on this case. Thank you. I'm going to start by saying I know this case yesterday garnered some media releases in the U.S. The rules for media releases in the U.S. are much different than they are in Canada. A lot more information is disclosed from U.S. authorities to their media counterparts. It's a little different in Canada. Obviously, we all have access to the internet, and I'm sure you've all seen the articles covered by the U.S. authorities. I won't be able to go into that much detail in regards to the case as the U.S. media release yesterday, just so you know. Okay, so I think it's best to begin chronologically. So I'm going to give you an overview of the investigation. On June 14th, 2025, there was a call for a prowler in progress, what we call a prowler in progress, basically a suspicious person at an address in Windsor in the 3300 block of Askin. One of the neighbors there saw a suspicious male dressed in black carrying a duffel bag, and police attended. We interviewed several people. We did a canvass, and we were unable to identify the person at that time. On June 22nd, there was a call, a 911 call to this same address at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3300 block of Askin, where a unknown intruder entered the home and committed a break and enter and assaulted the victim while inside. This individual was a male intruder. He had a balaclava on. To hide his identity. He left behind a taser, which is an electronic device capable of subduing somebody. There was some other evidence left behind. Unfortunately, when the victim called police, by the time police arrived, the suspect had left. On June 24th, 2025, this is what brings our charges of sexual assault. The victim reported that her son, 4-year-old little boy, who I'm not going to name, was with a family friend, and the family friend returned the little boy to the residence after about an hour, and the little boy had injuries. We later determined that those injuries were consistent with the little boy being sexually assaulted. So that triggered obviously a massive police investigation. The little boy was transported to London Hospital, and our major crime unit took over the investigation. So as a result of that, we were able to identify the offender for the sexual assault. We identified an offender. His name is Shahzad Hameedi. I'll spell the first and last name. Shahzad. The surname is Hameedi. He's a male party born in 1978, December 16th. Through investigation, we learned that this individual resided in the United States, in Royal Oak, Michigan. We were able to work together with our U.S. Law enforcement partners in the States to identify this individual. And through investigative steps, we were able to link this individual to the two previous incidents that I spoke about, the incident from June 14th and the incident from June 22nd. So as a result of that, there was a lot of back and forth between the Canadian counterparts and the U.S. counterparts. As you can imagine, this is a multi-jurisdictional case now. It involves two countries. So lots of different laws being triggered. Our American counterparts on the U.S. side were amazing to deal with, amazing to work with. And we applied for and we were granted a provisional arrest warrant for Hameedi and for the crimes of aggravated sexual assault, sexual interference, break and enter to commit an indictable offense, 2 counts of assault, choking, wearing a face mask, possess of prohibited weapon, and assault causing bodily harm. Also, after the arrest warrant was issued, that triggered the assistance of the U.S. Marshals to arrest Mr. Hameedi in Royal Oak, Michigan. And as a result of that, our U.S. counterparts were able to execute search warrants on Mr. Hameedi's residence, as well as his vehicle, and several other things. I can tell you that our U.S. counterparts seized evidence in relation to our offense, which we believe the evidence will contribute to the offenses here in Canada. So as a result, again, liaising with our U.S. counterparts, we learned that there was also a law in the U.S., and I don't have, forgive me, I don't have the exact legislation which was triggered, but again, it's an attempt to kidnap a child, and that is under a U.S. legislation. So that law was also triggered. We sought extradition through our Crown Attorney's Office, through our local Crown Attorney's Office, also Crown Attorney in Toronto, Ottawa, going back and forth with the U.S. Authorities. Probably about 20 documents. This young lady beside me, who was instrumental in doing that, in achieving that extradition, writing that extradition document. So just before we were able to extradite Mr. Hameedi, the U.S. authorities laid those charges. So as a result now, Mr. Hameedi is being held in a detention center in Michigan, and the American authorities will go ahead with their charges, and then there's going to be some legal back and forth between the lawyers in the States and the lawyers in Canada as to what happens next, as to what happens with our charges here in Canada. I do want to make a comment on one a release that was done yesterday in Michigan, and I don't have the exact media outlet. The one release indicated that we had set a trap for Mr. Hameedi to come back. I can tell you that is not true. We did not set any traps, or we did not use any type of trickery to coax Mr. Hameedi back to Canada. I don't know where that came from, but that is not true. And I think at this time I can open the floor up to some questions. Yes, ma'am.
We did hear that, so he's from Royal Oak, or he was residing in Royal Oak?
He is from Royal Oak, and he was residing in Royal Oak.
Okay, because I think there was some kind of discrepancy that he had been living in Wayne County at the time. I don't know.
Our information, the only information that we have is that he was residing in Royal Oak at the time of the incident.
Are you able to discuss just how this woman met this man at all?
Without going into the the complexities of the investigation, they met. Again, I can't reveal. Again, what the Americans can release and what we can release is much different from what I said. So they did meet on a social media platform.
I guess you're talking to, is I guess my question.
Absolutely, for sure. You don't always know who you're talking to, so we have a whole, I mean, we could go off on a tangent about, online safety, about who you're meeting online and things like that, and what you should share and what you shouldn't share, until you get to know the person, obviously, but that's a...
Does he have a further criminal history here, besides those charges you mentioned?
No. No. Nothing previous. Yep, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So it was actually in the unsealed criminal complaint that was made public in the U.S. yesterday
Yes.
that there was Windsor police recording equipment present in the victim's home. Is that accurate?
So what is common when a victim, I can tell you, without answering your question specifically, I can kind of give you a generic situation. Let's say a person was a victim of a crime, and a lot of people have CCTV cameras in their residences. So if that person doesn't have a CCTV camera, we have resources available at our service where we can put cameras up temporarily until that person, just to make the person feel safe and, hopefully prevent any further, it's not something, it's a secret, prevent anything further, from something happening to that individual. So it was basically something that was put in place until that, she rented the home, so it was something that was put in place until, we could get permanent cameras installed, just for her safety, because she lived at home alone with a young child.
Did Windsor police invite or instruct or suggest that the victim should invite the accused back to her home?
Absolutely not.
Can you just talk about the dangerous crimes that this man is accused of, and I mean, you don't know what he could have done next.
For sure. It doesn't get, we've been doing this job for a long time, and I can tell you this investigation really touched us, especially when you have the child, a child victim of this age. So very, very serious crimes. I've been doing this job for a long time. I don't remember laying charges like this against an individual for something like this. So it's very, very serious.
Are you worried there could be more victims out there?
Well, that's another thing I wanted to touch on. So the reason that we're releasing Mr. Hameedi's photo to the media, both here and both Canada and the U.S., is that our investigation revealed that Mr. Hameedi had multiple identities. He was in possession of multiple identities, both in Canada and the U.S. So there are different states in the U.S. He was linked to different addresses in Canada. So there always is a potential that there could be other victims out there. So that is the reason that we're releasing the photo to the media for you folks today. And if anybody out there recognizes this individual, please contact us and we will initiate an investigation.
On the date where the suspect had taken the 4-year-old boy, was the mother threatened at all to allow that situation to happen? Obviously, if he had broken in twice before that, and surveillance was up, why was he allowed to go with this individual?
So we did not link Mr. Hameedi to those 2 other incidents at that time. So the mother did not believe that Mr. Hameedi was responsible for the Prowler in Progress call or the break-in.
Was he saying, I know you can't divulge too much information.
Sure.
Were there certain things he sounds like a con man.
Yeah, that's a very good statement. He was, based on some of the things that we've learned and examining conversations between the 2 of them, there definitely was some, again, we talked about the different IDs that he used, so somebody that's, definitely, what you exactly said, like con.
So I guess for other potential victims out there who might be ashamed to say
Right.
they've been conned, what do you say to them?
We say to them, you're not a victim. We say to them, you fell to, somebody used, trickery to trick you in, and a lot of these people will target vulnerable people. So we say to these people, you're not a victim, call the police, and we will support you, we will help you.
Do we have an indication as to the motive, why this family led this child?
We're still looking into that, yeah, for sure. We have never had an opportunity to actually interview Mr. Hameedi. He fled to the U.S. After the sexual assault, and again, he has not returned to Canada, and we have not actually executed our search warrants or executed our arrest warrants. So we've never had the opportunity, of having a face-to-face conversation with Mr. Hameedi.
I know that you had mentioned, obviously, there is a lot of back and forth right now with U.S. authorities.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that he will be prosecuted in the U.S. and in Canada, or?
So the steps right now, and again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not on the prosecution team, certainly part of the investigation, but the steps right now is he will be prosecuted in the U.S. and then we are in Canada. We're basically in a wait and see situation. So, there's a chance. Yeah, again, we're just in a wait and see situation depending on how the charges play out in the U.S.
He could spend decades in prison there, though, right?
He could, absolutely, for sure. And then again, our attorneys would have to look at that and and whether we keep this arrest warrant ongoing or again. Yeah, we're in a wait and see situation depending on how the U.S. case evolves.
You think he was? There might be other victims out there. Was he using the internet to look for victims?
So we know that he was using the internet in this case. So I would suspect that he would be using the internet for if there's any other victims out there for sure. I think the internet would be definitely the internet, social media platforms. These meeting on these certain sites would definitely be the platforms for him to meet people, for sure.
Are you able to say those sites?
I think everybody kind of knows what the sites are. Again, they're out there.
They're dating sites?
They're dating websites, yeah. They're definitely out there, and I don't think it would be fair to label those sites. I mean, I think lots of people can Google that.
Is
Yep.
this a relatively uncommon situation for Windsor Police to have an accused who's wanted here on an arrest warrant here, but is also facing prosecution in the U.S. and have those two things kind of happening at the same time?
It's not uncommon for individuals to commit crimes in Windsor and flee to the United States. I think this is the first time that we've ever had something where the U.S. has actually laid a charge, and then our extradition process is basically on halt. I know our office has been involved in other investigations where we've extradited people back from the U.S. in order to face crimes in Canada, but it doesn't necessarily those cases never triggered a charge being laid in the U.S. This is something completely different. I've been here 31 years. I don't remember this ever taking place.
Can you tell us more about him? Does he have a family? What does he do for a living?
Again, that would be a part of the investigation. I wouldn't be able to reveal that to you. I'm sorry.
Or maybe just talk about the lengths he went to keep this going? Have you seen that?
I think
before?
that's going to all evolve and all come forward as the U.S. authorities go through their their legal proceedings. I think that will all come out in time, and I certainly don't want to speak and jeopardize their case at all.
And you already mentioned some of the evidence that was found in the home. Are you able to elaborate?
I did mention some of the evidence that was found in the home, yes. Again, I can't give you specifics, but there's a lot more that was released in the U.S. media yesterday that we just cannot. We just have different sets of rules here that we can't go into the specifics. I apologize for that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier he was in possession of multiple identities. Did that extend to just aliases on these?
Aliases, different spellings of his name, similar but different spellings. There would be, letters would be moved around, different spellings, different states. I think we identified at least three different states where he had identities, 3 different identities with different spellings, with different name, like very similar. The dates of birth were similar, but not, exact. He was linked to multiple addresses in Canada, had an Ontario driver's license as well. Again, that's the reason that we're doing this media release today, is to, if there's anybody out there that recognizes this individual, then please call us.
What states are those?
I believe there was obviously Michigan. My recollection was New York State and Illinois. Indiana.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry, Illinois, not Illinois?
No,
Not Illinois.
Do you
Indiana,
think-
Michigan, and
do
New
you
York.
think there could be more identities? Do you think there
We've
could
been-
be
We've been working with our American counterparts, and those are the ones that we've learned so far.
so far?
Yep.
history of crossing the border before this began?
Yes, he did. Yep, yes, he did. Traveled in and out of different airports as well in Canada and the U.S., so we have all that information.
You just get the full spelling of your name.
Yeah, sure. My last name is Tennent. Can I say one more thing? I just want to say a special thank you. We've had a number of different multi-jurisdictional law enforcement agencies, both in U.S. and Canada, involved in this investigation, just a massive amount. So I'm going to list them, whether or not, hopefully this makes the media release. Obviously, our major crime unit in Windsor, the Ontario Provincial Police ROPE unit, that's the Repeat Offender Task Force. Our local friends at the ministry here in Windsor and Ottawa and Toronto. We had officers from the London Police Service assisting us as well. Canada Border Services in Canada, RCMP in Canada, and on the U.S. side, the Homeland Security investigators, U.S. Marshals, U.S. Customs, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and our what's called our BEST unit is our Border Enforcement Security Task Force. Again, they were instrumental in this investigation and assisting us.